Okay, hello and welcome to Click Nigeria's Youth Assembly. It is good to be here again this new week, and it feels like so many good things are going to happen this week. I mean, I have an actor beside me, and it's looking good. It's looking good. All is looking good. My name is Sylvia Isheme. Welcome on board. And yes, the actor beside me is none other but Charles Etubiebi, actor and artistic director. Welcome, Charles.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, what are you hopeful for this Monday?
Um, more open doors,
Hmm.
more answers to all the effort we've been putting out so far.
I'm telling you.
Hopefully the
A lot of
dots
hard
connect,
work.
a lot of hard work. Hopefully the dots connect,
Mhm.
and then we get to see some successes.
Oh,
week.
yes. And one of the places that we want to see success is the entertainment industry or Nigeria's
Yes.
entertainment industry,
Yes.
connecting the
Yes.
dots and more young people, vibrant young people getting jobs
Yes.
and doing what they love doing.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll look at how we can do that. Yes, with the ideas he's going to give us here on the show, and you also contributing to this show as we look at how can more jobs be created in Nigeria's entertainment industry. Okay, so with the recognition Nigeria is getting globally, with the Grammy Awards won by Wizkid and Burna
Burna
Boy.
Boy.
Yeah, the noise has not reduced since that
It
time.
should not reduce.
It
It
can't.
should not reduce. It should continue.
when they make all of those headlines, oh, he got 10 million, he got a land, he got this. I'll be like, oh, he deserves it. Burna Boy deserves it because he's a Grammy Award
They've
winner.
put in the
A lot of work.
They have put in the work. You have no idea the amount of work artists, creators put into their art, into their craft. You have, it's humongous, and you can just only hope that. I mean, the recognition is one thing, but having to do that and also having to be paid for what you're passionate about is an entire thing, and I think it's a blessing. I consider it a blessing to be paid for what you are passionate about.
Yes. But when we see it on Nollywood movies, like we think that it's so easy to act. But you'll tell us all about it.
I will tell you all about that.
All right, so the entertainment industry through the works of Nollywood is one of the key drivers in Nigeria's economic growth, contributing about 1% to Nigeria's GDP annually. So how can the industry help create jobs for youths in Nigeria? That is one question we intend to ask as we look at how vibrant Nigeria's entertainment industry has been and a vital sector to the economy. Now, it has been said that it's the second highest employer of labor in the country aside the civil service.
Yes.
Okay, and also Nollywood is said to be a major player in the entertainment sector and globally recognized as the second largest film producing or producer in the world.
Yes. Output, quantity.
I mean, oh, okay. There's a difference between output and
there's a difference between quality and quantity and output. So we are the second largest output.
All right. So we will see how we can turn that into employment, like people getting more employed. Okay. So as the unemployment rate rose last month, I think, to 33.3%. So we'll be looking at areas, sectors in Nigeria where youths can be employed, and then we'll see the numbers reduce.
Yes.
We talked about technology, the tech sector, agri sector, now entertainment. How come with Nollywood being the largest producer of movies, in the second largest in the world, there's still a lot of unemployment going on in Nigeria, especially amongst the youths?
I think one thing that contributes to that is I think knowledge is power, first of all. If you know, every man's ignorance is every man's mountain is what he doesn't know. That's what it is. So I think people need to start exploring other opportunities more. I mean, for Nollywood, it's not just acting or directing and producing. You have the makeup department, there's the lighting department, you have the welfare department too, people who make food for the productions. You have the costume department. There are so many things you can do on a set. There are so many things you can do. And I think one thing you need to do is, first of all, read up on them, train if you can, find training for those things. There are a couple of film schools around now, both independent and also I think there's the National Film Institute as well. You could read up on those things. And besides, you have the internet now. You have YouTube. There's a whole universe of information that you can get and train yourself with. And when you're armed with that knowledge, you can now begin to create value and get paid for that. Because I think we need to understand that we have this mentality of I want to make money. I want to
Yes.
blow.
Well, yeah. Who doesn't want to blow?
Okay,
Do you want to blow?
okay. Those two things are a misconception. First of all,
Yes.
you don't make money. None of us make money. The only people who make money work in a mint. They print money. They're not to make money. The rest of us have to earn it.
You earn.
And you earn money by creating value. So the question is, what value do you bring to the table? It's that value that people will exchange. Is that value you bring that you exchange for monetary returns? So that's the question. So we need to understand that whatever we do, there's a monetary side to it, but we have to create value. And that's where I think fundamentally that's where the question should start from. And secondly, the whole thing.
So
of
how can we
this,
create value?
Create value. You need to find a need. Well, what do people want? For example, people will always eat. People will always cut their hair. People will always make new clothes. People will always get married. People always drink water. Right there is like, I think that's like maybe 10 different opportunities. Eating, you could go into restaurants, you could go into agriculture, you could go into food supply, you could go into food delivery. When you talk about people always cutting their hair, you could go into, of course, hair making or becoming a barber. People making clothes, you become a fashion designer, you can become a stylist, you can become a tailor, you could sell fabric.
But
online.
In the entertainment industry right now,
all these in
all
the
this
entertainment
is
industry,
needed.
because you need a production. You need for the makeup department, you need makeup. You also need hair under the makeup department. So the actors who need to cut their hair, the ladies who need to have their hair done before every scene, there are people who go and check these things and make sure that these people look picture perfect, and then they run off the screen and then they say action, because you only see the screen, but behind the screen there are maybe like 18 people standing behind the camera, all having jobs to do. So that's something. If you have a skill for that, as maybe let's say a hairstylist, there's a job for you. If you have, then when you move to the wardrobe department, clothes making, the actors have to dress in a particular way, different characters, and then you have to you have to make charts for them, for the different characters. That's an entirely different job on its own. There are assistants in those departments. There are those who make clothes, those who style in those departments. When you talk about food, now talking about welfare. Every day on set for standard productions, you should have at least one meal a day provided for the actors and the crew, the entire production team. Now, say you're providing food for a production team of, let's say, 30 people, and each one of them, let's say you peg that at 500 per person. I don't know maths very well.
No problem.
I'm not really a doctor. But I mean, do that calculation for one day and then multiply that for a production that's going to last for a week or 2 weeks. You see how much you're making already just by making food. Then also, too, water, supplying of water, making of water, those things are also viable there as well. So all these things are departments in the film world that people can learn, become trained in, and then offer those services. And then also too, you must always remember that value is created, but you should also remember that you should be innovative. You must always change with the times. As things are changing, you should update yourself. I have a friend called Kafari. I can't remember his surname now, but he's a sound engineer. And recently, there's this problem we have on set where you're listening to where we're recording, and then there are outside noises, interferences like from outside. Let's say, for example, there's a church close by or a mosque, and those sounds are coming in. There's a device he got, and then what he does is he plugs it to the actor, and then that just takes care of it. It eliminates the sound around and gets just the actor's voice. That sound alone. Now, he was one of the first people. I was on the set with him in June last year, and he was one of the first people. And as soon as he brought it and put it up and said, I had brought this is what it was do. I was there when some of the top sound engineers in Nigeria were calling him to say, oh, what is this? Oh, really? Where can I get it? And he gave them the information, and they went online. And so by him being innovative enough to open that channel for himself, he has also opened it for others, but he's become innovative. The next person to do something other than that, to bring something higher than that now, would now also introduce that information to all of them, and thereby has and by so doing has improved, has become innovative, has changed the game at that point in time. That's the value I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay, but you've mentioned a lot of things people can do in the
Yes.
film industry, but some people will argue that some of these film producers, or yes, they have their own vendors already,
Yes.
people they know and that they can trust with their work. But how can an ordinary Nigerian youth who knows how to do makeup, who knows how to cook, who knows how to even supply whatever it is you need at the production scene? So what do they have to do to get themselves engaged like that?
Um, I think currently in this day and age, it's good that we have social media. Of course, social media is nebulous. It's what you do with it that really matters. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's you can put yourself out there on social media, Instagram, Facebook. You can create a business brand and put it out there, and you will get people personalizing you. And of course, remember that because people are doing productions to a particular person doesn't mean that they're not trying to save cost. So if you
Yes.
can do something cheaper for me,
Yeah.
I will try you.
Mm-hmm.
And after I have tried you and seen that you will deliver, over time I can increase my cost of production because now I have built my brand up. As because I've worked with you, somebody else can contract me, somebody else can contract me, and I
Mm-hmm.
need to now start employing more. I've thereby created employment not just for myself, but for also a couple of other people. That's social media. You can use that to reach out.
Yes.
Also, you can reach out to your peers who are looking for the same thing. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you are a young, let's say, young makeup artist
Mm-hmm.
starting out. There are young filmmakers starting out who don't have the clout or the money that
True.
other people have. Search these people out, collaborate with these people. Okay, so you're doing this film. Let's say on a production that they were supposed to, let's say production budget are supposed to be, let's say 10 million, and this person has 1 million, which meant that, let's say if 10% of that was supposed to go to you, was supposed to be maybe 100,000. But you tell them, you say, okay, I'll do this for you. Yes, it's an investment.
Mm.
It's seed. You are sowing a seed, it's an investment. But you can say, since you're starting out, I'm starting out, let's do this together. Look for people who are as hungry as you are and start something. And you find out that once you start and people begin to recognize you, your value begins to go up. You start out at that maybe 10. I remember, let me give an example. So I remember when I did a job the first time, one of the first stage plays I did. It's called 54 Silhouettes by this
Mm-hmm.
writer, Africa Uko.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in Lagos and he called me out of nowhere and said, there's this production in Jos we need to do. And I said, okay, how much are you paying me? And I'll tell you the figure then. He said 10,000. I said, how do I get from Lagos to Jos? And he was like, oh yeah, we can take care of your transportation, but that's what we're paying. And we're doing two shows, one in Jos in Alliance Francaise and one in, this was end of 2013,
Mm-hmm.
in Alliance Francaise in Jos and one here in Abuja. The Alliance Francaise, that was two productions. And then, he provided feeding and all of those things and had accommodation and all of that. But we did the production. That was 2013. Fast forward, maybe 2018. I was going for a festival. Like I said, the artistic director for my theater company, Theater Industry International.
Yeah.
There was a festival. We were affiliated with the International Theater Institute, which is the performance arm of UNESCO.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a festival we were invited for from Brazil. And I thought to myself, this play that this person had done had 5 characters, but
Mm-hmm.
it's possible to make it into a one-man play where an actor will play all 5 characters, which means you're on stage for 1 hour.
Yeah.
It's immense work
Mm-hmm.
artistically as an actor, even for a director to direct that. But I told myself I was going to challenge myself to do this. So I spoke to the writer. I said, could you write this into a one man play? Change the writing to make it a one man into a narration. And he
Yes.
did that. It was one of the, till today, the hardest thing I've done in my life because I was working at the time full time on a TV show with African Magic
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would wake up by 4 o'clock, read the script till like 5:30, get ready by 6, out of my it's Lagos traffic, out of my house, get to set by 8, work from 8 to maybe 5 or 6, come back home, still give 1 hour. I did that consecutively for 2 months before I traveled out to do that production. But
Yeah.
then that was work. Now that production we've performed it in Brazil, we've performed it at the Lagos Theatre Festival. Recently, last year, we performed it in New York and got the award for Best International Show off Broadway.
Oh,
Now, this is a show that I got
that's
paid
10,000.
10,000 in 2013.
Okay.
But
So
over
this,
the years,
yes,
so what I'm
you
saying is
grew.
invest in this, look for people who are hungry like you.
Mm-hmm.
And also too, let me also mention Africa Uko today is one of the most sought after writers in Nollywood now. He takes his time, he has grown in his craft, he has
Mm-hmm.
also grown in his fees because he's creating value as well. So look for people who are hungry like you. When I say hungry, I don't mean like food. I mean people who are hungry to
Passionate
grow,
about,
passionate,
yes,
and
about what you
then
do.
connect to these people. And then that's another avenue for you to now start building yourself up. Let's not think about money. My father told me that at the very young. He said, don't start this stage of your career, don't think about money. Even at this particular stage, because your value is not attached to money. No matter how much they pay you, it's not your value. It's not your worth. Right now, concentrate on building your craft. So that's what my advice is: on use social media and
use social media.
Look for people and collaborate around you.
Now that is the era of social media. We see a lot of people coming up. We watch this videos, skits, and all. And you say we have a lot of talents in Nigeria, young talents.
Yes.
Like everybody can be a comedian. Even me, I can decide.
It's something you sit in the house and create and then record. And you have a phone. You can just sit and put your phone there, record, and from there you move. There are these boys, you Korodu boys. Do you remember them?
Yes.
Who were doing those skits, and then they went to do this film from Netflix called The Extraction. And of course, the producers of this film saw it and said, you know what? With the little you people have, we've seen your effort, and they sent them equipment. And this is just something they were doing at the back of their houses.
With household items.
Now they don't blow.
The blow we're talking about.
But how did they do that? Consistently.
Yes.
They've been doing this thing for maybe 2 years before this happened. So imagine they're done it for 1 year and say, no, I'm not even doing this anymore. I beg. What are we even doing? But they were doing it consistently. So apart from they had.
Yes, true. Apart from consistency, what other talent or innate ability can a young person have to be able to go into the entertainment industry?
I think one of the things you need to do is to research.
Okay, research.
For example, if you like to draw at a young age, advanced countries have this program where the educational system is tailored in a way to discover a child's talent at a young age and then tailor the education towards that line. So what you do is at a young age, you see a child who's more predisposed to music, or who's more predisposed to mathematics or drawing or something. You begin to notice those talents and you begin to guide the child towards that, because what they like doing, what you like doing, you do it easily and effortlessly.
Yeah, true.
So if you like drawing and I maybe start teaching you technical drawing, it's still the same drawing, but I'm now putting it in structure. So research what it is that you love doing. And then find out where it is that you want to go with that. Even as a young child, I knew I was going to be an actor.
For a lot of people. That is, you found out you wanted to be an actor, but some people can't even define it. They have so many, their talents is everywhere. They need somebody to help them, channel it, guide it into the right.
Which is where the role of the parents come in now. Not everybody can be a doctor, lawyer, or an engineer.
Sometimes when you tell your parents you want to be an actor, they say, you will be a doctor.
Do you know what my father told me?
You're supposed to be a doctor, medical doctor.
No, my father wanted me to read law. But I told him, I said I wanted to study theater arts, and he said, "Oh, but you argue well. You have good arguments. You know how to. You are." As young as 12 years old, my father would have conversations with his friends and bring me into the conversation. So he said, "You would make," and I had the grades. I passed my WAEC well. Second time, I wrote it twice. Second time, I also wrote my JAM, and I had the good grades to go into. I could have chosen law, and I would have studied it. But I decided to do that, and he felt, okay, if this is what you want to do, I will support you in this. Finish school, finish NYSC, had 1 year where I did not work at all as an actor. And I was traveling over the place, auditioning in Jos, auditioning in Abuja, back to Lagos, and he said, "Okay, a rolling stone gathers no moss. You need to settle down. Go and apply for the civil service." Delta State was employing at the time. It took me 2 weeks to put in the application. Around the same time, one of our contacts from Sudan, we had done a performance in Sudan at that time and come back, was doing a production on, he was creating a project around conflict resolution, theater and conflict resolution. And my director called me and said, "Charles, can you do a proposal on this and create a project around it?" I said, "Sure." It took me 3 days. I read up on conflict resolution, read up on theater, agitprop theater, read up on applied theater, and then I just put it together. 3 days. It took me 2 weeks to go to put the application in for civil service. Not 2 weeks to do the process, but to lift myself from my house to go to the cafe, and it took 10 minutes to fill. But it took me 2 weeks to mentally push myself to do it. And it was around that time that I said, you know what, this is what I meant to do. I will continue pushing until this breaks. And I kept on doing that. And I think that it's very strong for parents to understand that when your child wants to do something and you see they are gifted in it, encourage them, support them, because there is no support you receive from outside that is as valid or as encouraging as that from your own home.
Yes, yes. You know what they say, charity begins at home.
At home.
You can interpret it into so many fields. But yes, you can be a part of the discussion if you are just tuning in or joining us. Those of you who joined us via our website, www.clickniger.net. Thank you for joining us and listening in. We have Charles. Yes, Etubiebe, who is an actor and artistic director. I know a lot of your fans will be watching and listening. And so feel free to ask questions. You see?
They pay my salary.
Yes, without them, you are not you're not the actor.
Yeah.
Okay, so send in your comments if you have any, or what ideas do you have of how more jobs can be created in Nigeria's entertainment industry. We'll love to take your comments at this point. But what is the role of the government in helping the entertainment industry? Over the past few years, we've seen past administrations come and go, trying their best to contribute to the growth of the industry. We saw the last president, former president Goodluck Jonathan, contributing about $200 million to the entertainment industry to help them, gain more value and all. But how far so far? Do you think that is enough, or what can they do differently to help this sector create more jobs for young people?
I think they need to go far back to the educational system. We need to revamp the Nigerian educational system.
So it's not just putting money.
It's not just putting money. You can't put money in a leaking. You can't put water in a leaking basket. Because the level of it, I mean, our education now is, especially what's taught in the universities nowadays, in the federal universities and state universities, is, I dare say, obsolete. Because it's more of a system where you cram and then you regurgitate. But nowadays we have the internet, we have more technologies, we have new innovations. We can learn on our own. We can stay at home and say, I'm going to become this. There are so many self-taught. There's a guy called Asaf. He's a Nigerian director. He's a self-taught cinematographer and editor, and he shot his own films. He's won an AMVCA, but he taught himself because he settled down. I met a guy here in Abuja a couple of days ago who taught himself French. You can literally learn anything.
True.
The educational system needs to revamp in a way that we have more access to information. We're more exposed. It should now concentrate more on creating an avenue where people are able to learn. I learned in my 400 level when I was in school that education is not meant to create a person who has learned a thing. So you say, I am a lawyer, I am a doctor, I'm an actor. No, it is to create a thinking individual that constantly thinks and reinvents himself. So for example, you're an actor and you get to a situation in real life where there is a situation where you have to fix. Let's say, for example, you are running a production and then there's a problem with your I don't know, let's say your lighting equipment. What do? It's a scene that is shot indoors. You can take the scene outdoors. You can call your scriptwriter who is there and then rewrite that script to that. Or you can improvise with different things, or your shot. If you have a cinematographer who has read up, there are so many things you can do at that point. It's creating that individual that can think on the go. That's what education should do. Not to say, oh, you're a lawyer and so therefore address me as a lawyer. Titles. We need to move away from titles. Doctor, professor, Esquire,
yes,
barrister. We love titles, but take away the title, what are you?
Okay.
What value do you really bring to the society? So I think one thing they need to do is to change the educational system. Also, they need to invest heavily in skill acquisition.
But we have already so many skill acquisition programs going on. But when you say skill acquisition,
I've really not seen any. I really don't know of. There might be, but I really don't know of any government funded initiative that helps filmmakers, that helps to start teaching filmmaking to the younger generation, to people who are still in secondary schools, in the university. Of course, my department has been changed from theater to the University of Jos, from theater and communication art to theater and film arts. So they are now affiliated with the National Film Institute in Jos. That's I'm looking for. I'm hoping government will invest more in things like that. Start to teach film from a young age so that students can realize that it's not just in front of the camera and being an actor. There's a universe behind the camera. There's so much you can do. So many makeup artists, so many people are getting awards for what they do best. So I think that government needs to invest and take it lower. Start with the secondary school and then start bringing it up to the university and creating different skill acquisitions. So you can have them learning makeup while they're in secondary school, have them learning filmmaking, editing, costume designing, just different things.
There's home economics.
Home economics, yes, but that's to cook food.
No, that's food and nutrition.
That's food and nutrition.
Food and nutrition, yes.
But
we have those things, but I don't know about now. That was those days when I went to school.
But I think government needs to start investing in that. When I say skill acquisition, that's what I mean, like at that tender age. Because nowadays, when you finish school, they tell you they want 5 years experience, and you are just finishing school 2 years ago. What time do you have to serve and then work again? You have just 1 year experience from your youth service, So if you can create skill acquisition as a course in school, and people are studying that as one course as long as well as they're doing that, and they are working, they're also earning work experiences. So by the time they finish school, they already have 4 years work experience, 5 years work experience with youth service, and they can prove to say, okay, this was what I did, this was the responsibilities I had, this was the earnings I have. And you find out that if you create people like that, they might not even want to go into the employment sector. They just want to create job opportunities for themselves because they're already working and earning money. They're already creating value and getting the monetary returns for that already. So it's the mindset that needs to change. Skill acquisition, education.
All right. So with the Grammy win,
yes,
Burna Boy, Wizkid, if you're a fan, how do you feel? We've been talking about this. Okay, even they receive a lot of congratulatory messages from the president, vice presidents, governors, and the likes, and it's still coming in up to today. So how can they tap into this award, the global recognition that Nigerian music is getting, even film, and get youths involved more, and then jobs are created?
People respond to success. People are drawn.
So we had to wait for them to win a Grammy.
Now they've won a Grammy.
Yes.
Now people are paying attention to them. People don't know this, but there was a film recently, a short Nigerian film that won the Grand Jury Prize at the Sundance Film Festival, and it won the Grand Jury. It has never happened before. It just happened this year. That same film has been nominated for the BAFTAs. We'll hear about it in April, whether it has won or not. That's usually the channel to the Oscars. Sundance, BAFTA, maybe 1 or 2 festivals, and then nomination for it has made enough rounds to be nominated. And recently, the Oscars has started picking up Nigerian films to put in categories and then screening them, and then none has really.
True.
Remember Lionheart
was
disqualified for some technicality. This we began with, so now that government is listening and seeing the success, it's time to start channeling resources, because if you channel resources and invest, you're investing in people who are creating value, and value equates monetary returns. When you give value, you get monetary. So government needs to find a way to tap into this and then invest. What will make an artist sing better? South Africa won an Oscar. How did they do it? They got together and said, we're going to have a 5-year plan, and we're going to get to winning an Oscar. And they created a roadmap. It was a collaborative effort of the South African film, South African film community. So we need to do that. Government needs to be involved. We need to collaborate with them, and we need to start creating roadmaps to where we want to go. Yes, Burna Boy has done this. He was able to push himself. Of course, you can't tell me that he didn't have his ups and his downs.
Of course he did.
He did.
Like everybody else. Before your success story, you have.
Yes, you must also have that determination. It's like this thing is like this the Chinese bamboo. It's a seed where you plant, and for 5 years
nothing happens.
See anything.
Yes.
You must water it every day, you must plant it, you must attend to it. But in the 5th year, a Chinese bamboo is known to grow at least 3 feet in 1 day, and in a month 90 feet. But because it already has his root system, he took his time to develop himself. There were times when he wasn't, but he kept on pushing, and this is where he is today because of determination. If he had it easier because of some funding from government, or because of some or because the industry was supporting his own, which it does nowadays, you see that people are beginning to succeed. So I think for government, yeah, they need to find avenues to start investing, because we're now making rounds globally. It's time for the government to get involved and also help to push these talents further.
Hmm. So, Burna Boy revealed that his team is made of more, is it 90% female? More female than male. So, when I heard that, I was like, Burna is doing something a lot of people need to key into
Yes.
and do. So, if the men, we've heard just that is the men like you that grow and prosper in the entertainment industry. Women don't really get the recognition that they deserve. So, how can people, artists like this, and or stakeholders in the industry, use their power or position to get more females involved into the
I
industry?
believe there's this thing going. People believe that feminism is supposed to be this anti-man,
No, no, no.
because you're feminist, you're an anti-man, you're an anti-masculine individual who says down with man. No, it's just looking for equal opportunities. If a person deserves an opportunity, regardless of their gender, they should get it. They should get it. I believe in that equality. Yes, although by gender roles we have different we are disposed to, by our gender roles and by our genetic makeup. There are certain things men can do and women can't. So I believe in equity. Chanel, for example, there was this thing I saw where there was this fence, and three people were trying to look over the fence, and then they showed what inequality was, which is somebody having more advantage over the other one, and one having no advantage over one. They showed equality where all of them, they shared the barrels that they were standing on together,
Yes.
and then they now talked about equity, which is the tallest person having maybe no barrel because they can already see,
Yes.
the shortest person having two,
Yes.
because that will get them to the level where they can see what is going on, and then the last one having one because they are like medium height. That's equity. Channeling your resources to help people according to their abilities, but also helping them, giving them those opportunities that they need, tailor-made opportunities. So I think that women coming to the industry is very, very encouraged. There are more cinematographers now. There's a lady, a very dear friend of mine, Emma Idozu, who made a film called Kasala and has been to God knows how many festivals around the world in just a short time. She shot it, she edited it. She's a cinematographer. She's a producer and a director. And these were skills she learned over time.
And we're
But now
seeing
that she
more of
has
the
done
actresses
it,
also becoming
yes,
directors and producers.
yes.
True.
So I think that it's something that if you have an opportunity to enable somebody, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
It is mostly encouraged, and women need to also come in and the women in Nollywood are beginning to band together to say, you know what, we can do this, and I think that they deserve the support of everybody. Everybody who is involved, support them as much as possible. The opportunities that you think that they can do because of their, if the opportunity I think that they deserve, don't say, oh, and this is a man, that a woman. No, give it to them. They've earned it.
Yes.
Give it to them. If you see somebody trying, and not just even with women anymore, anybody trying, and you can help. I believe that's the essence of why we are here in the first place.
Yes.
The long and short of life is
help each other.
Help each other.
Okay.
Her life is hard.
Yes.
Can we just give each other a helping hand? You know?
Well, yes, we need to give each other a helping hand.
Yeah.
That is what Charles is saying. Charles Etubiebe is an actor and artistic director, and we thank you for taking our time to do this with us.
Thank you very
But
much.
before we go, we want you to, what are those fields in entertainment? Listen, I know you mentioned it earlier. Just list it for us. Just mention them again.
For
the young people can get
film
into.
now,
Yes.
you can learn cinematography, handling a camera, and you can learn makeup. It's a whole department on its own. There's makeup, there's hairstyling, there's even creation of there's even special effects makeup now, blood, all those prosthetics arms and all those that's special effects on its own again. Then there's also the of course the welfare department, which is creating catering for the cast and crew. There's also the lights department. There's also sound department. There's also your, of course, producing, directing, assistants directing. There are ADs now, assistant directors who pick up for the directors on times when he can't be there. Those are all things people can learn. Of course, you know the most acting is there in front of the camera. but then also to their acting coaches. So these are all things that people can pick on and say, okay, I'm going to learn these things and train myself on them. And at the end of the day, create value. Go for value.
All right. Thank you so much, Charles.
You're welcome.
It was nice talking with you. And I hope
you
enjoyed the discussion and you learned a thing or two. Please share this video and comment. We will interact at the comment section even after this. So listen to us on our website, www.clicknaija.net. And we are also on MixLR app. Click Naija. Follow us on our social media handles, Twitter, Instagram, and also YouTube. We are all there and we are live right now. Thank you for your time, and we hope you have a fantastic day. And do join us again tomorrow for another interesting edition of Youth Assembly. My name is Sylvia Ishibi. We'll see you tomorrow. Charles, hope you have a fantastic day.
I had a fantastic day. I will have a fantastic day. Thank you very much.
All right. We hope to see more of you on screen.
From your lips to God's
We'll be following you, Baba to Baba, like everywhere you go, everything you do, your works.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Job. My producer has been Hafsat Isa and supervised by Ahian. Bye for now and have a fantastic day.